Good morning, all. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing great. I hope you all are too. And I just wanted to say that when your parents are aging, it's very important that you put some put some of your time aside if you can to help them out. I'm here with my mom and my stepdad because they needed my help. And as you all know, I work night shift. Came off my night shift and decided to swing by my mom's house and help them out this morning. Right now, I'm in her bedroom with the door closed, and her and my stepdad are on their Bible study on Zoom. So I'm happy that I was able to come over and help them out because when I was younger, I remember them helping me out. um, for the early part of my childhood, my mom was present, but she wasn't always present, and neither was my dad. But as I started to have my own children, they were definitely present. I never missed out on anything after having children. You know how some people say, "Well, once you have children, your life is over." Well, my mom decided to repay me in that way by being there for my children, and my this is my stepdad. He was also present at the time, when my children were growing up, and he has such great they both have such great memories of being the grandparents that they were. And also, when I was a young mom, I remember my mom coming over to my apartment and helping me do all the girly things that you want done to your apartment. At the time, my mom, I remember her helping me, like just put a layer of paint on the walls. When you have kids, you want your walls clean because they touch everything. And yeah, I used to paint, and she would come over and help me. I would do things like probably change the flooring, like put towels down, and my mom would come over and she would be on her knees helping me put the floor tiles down because we wanted this kitchen to look a certain way, you know. So I appreciated all those little things. Never had a problem with a babysitter because she was always there for that. Um, I was free basically to get things done because I had my mom's backup at the time when my kids were little, and I also had my stepdad's backup. My biological father, he also wasn't present during my childhood growing up. Of course, I seen my parents and I spoke to them on the phone regularly, but at that time, I don't know if you all went through that, but grandparents were raising the kids. That was me. My maternal grandmother raised me, and my paternal grandmother also, played a part in bringing me up. But my mom and dad they were there, but um, as far as the early part of my childhood, they wasn't present the way they could have been. So I'm not blaming anybody for anything, and you don't want to blame your aging parents for not being there. But I just feel like this is my way of giving back because after I started having children, that's when you need a lot of support. And I was a young mom, so me and my husband, we were able to go out when we wanted to, on dates, because my mom was, she was my built-in babysitter at the time. Um, I was able to get a few certifications or whatever I wanted to do educationally at the time without having to worry about a babysitter. I was able to work without having to worry about a babysitter. Actually, I remember times where I had to actually argue with my mom because I would be at work during the week and I would have to, she would have my children and I would be arguing with her that I'm off the weekend. I want to see my children. They have to come home. And, it was just a very nice time. My mom has beautiful memories, and so does my stepdad. And also my biological dad also came around, and when my kids were growing up, and he made sure he was present. He's deceased now, but he was present as far as being a granddad to my children, and they do remember him. And you know, your parents might not always be there for you when you're in the early stages of your childhood, but I believe that a lot of parents can and do make it up to their children when you start having your own children. And as I started having my own children, my parents were there for me, so it's only right that I'm there for them now. And yes, I'm tired tonight. I'm off so I get to sleep in my bed tonight. But yeah, I come over and I just make sure my parents are okay. They have, you know, services in place to help them. My mom's, you know, I don't want to talk too much about, you know, your personal business, but my mom's a amputee and she has one prosthetic leg. My stepdad is dealing with, you know, dementia and stuff like that. So I feel like I can talk about it because it's something that a lot of us deal with. And so I come over to help them out, and to make sure that everything's running smoothly. And if you care anything about any family member or relative that you may have that is aging or elderly or disabled, please go check on your people. Check on your people when they are in the nursing home. Check on your people when they are in the hospital. It is very, very, very important that family members show up for uh, your loved ones, because you can't depend on strangers to make sure that your loved ones are getting everything that they need. Well, now I come over, I make sure that they're fed, bathed, their house is clean, laundry's done, and just the little things like that. You'd be surprised how much you can help your aging parents. It's not easy to watch them aging because it's like it happens so fast, you know. You don't really expect for it to happen that fast. And so, you know, even if you have some past grudges, I think sometimes we get caught up in what you didn't do and what you should have and could have and would have done. But in the end, none of those things really matter because life is short. You know, life is, when you get older, you start realizing life is really, really short. And if you want to have those last conversations with your parents and your family members, or you just want to have those good memories of them, I feel like you should. Well, I can't tell people what to do, but when your parents are aging, they need you. You may not think so. You may still think that they have that independence that they had when they were younger. But if you take time out your life to help your aging parents, you will get that back tenfold. Um, you know, so your blessings will come definitely. So just keep that in mind. And I'm here. I'm back here taking care of business. I'm in her room taking care of business while they're on their Bible studies. And I make sure they have their Bible studies. I make sure they, you know, they're good as far as going to their services, you know, that the things that they're used to doing. That's what you're there for. You're there to make sure that their quality of life still has some type of dignity left. And as they're aging and as they're, you know, going into the stages of end of life or palliative care, please try to be there for your family members, because you really cannot depend on strangers to take care. And I know some people feel like, oh, well, they didn't do this for me and they didn't do that for me. Listen, some of us need to let bygones be bygones. I know there's some people on YouTube preaching that, you know, don't mess with your family members and stuff like that. But I could have done that. I could have been like, oh, you're not going to be a part of my children's lives. You're not going to, you know, but I decided that wasn't the right thing to do. And I feel like that creates a strong bond between you and your parents and your children and family in general. Me and my family and my, like my mom and my kids, we're all very close. It's because of the way I raised them, and it's because of the way I let my mom play the role that she's supposed to play in their lives. And it's not all about money too. Everybody's basing everything off of what people financially can do for each other, and none of that really matters because we all going in the grave one day. you know you can have all the riches you want. You can talk about all this money, 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 but none of that is gonna matter when we all going in the grave one day. And the money thing is just, I don't care what you didn't do for me. Were you there for me, emotionally? Was physically, did you support me? You know, my dad was a financial person. Like he loved to support financially, but as he realized that I needed more than finance, he stepped up to the plate. So I just want to point out that don't base like you shouldn't base everything off of money. Like um I didn't care about what my mom could do for my kids back then. To me, her giving them love, um, attention, and just being there for them, just little things like being in the park, watching them run around. Those little things count because my children remember it, and they love and respect their grandmother and their step granddad and their grandfather for it. So, you know, like try not to make money the end all be all. Like everybody doesn't have money like that. So I'm laughing, but it's true. Like everybody doesn't have money. So it's not, well, my relationships, I never based them off of money or what someone has done for me financially. I always base my relationships off of that genuine um, person that you can be yourself around, and they're their self around you, and the true connection that you and that person has. It doesn't A connection doesn't have to always be about financials. Some of y'all beg to differ, but that's on y'all. For me, I like genuineness, and I like the true person. And I had people, like when my kids were growing up, my mom was there, and I basically, I do everything. Like if I got it, my mom got it. Like if I have $1,000, I'm giving her at least 400 of it. Like, that's how I was. And not for nothing, but if at the time I know my mom needs something, she got it. Here you go, mom. You don't have to worry because you got a daughter that can help you as far as little financial things go, because I'm not no person with no big old set of. I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I'm somebody with all this, all this and that. I'm a working person, so y'all already know how that goes. But whatever little I have, I share with my family, and it's not really based on, you know, how much money anybody has. So, with that being said, please take your relationships further than just materialism and financials. Take your relationship into, the love that somebody shows you, the appreciation that someone shows you. And, you know, that's what I base all my relationships off of. I don't talk to or associate with people because they have money. It's nice to be around people with money because you get to learn, you get to learn certain things from them. But I'm not going to stray away from the conversation. The conversation is about, making sure that you make sure that your aging parents are um, okay until it's their time. And so that's what I try to do. And I'm just giving back to what I thought my mom gave to me. And my stepdad has dementia, but guess what, y'all? He carries around those little pictures of my children, those memories that he have. He carries the pictures around and he keeps showing the same pictures to me with my family. It's me, my husband, and my children. He keeps showing me y'all, he keeps showing me the pictures over and over. So what do? I don't get aggravated. I don't get mad. I just, oh yes, your grandchildren. You remember that time, right? And you just feed into it. It's nothing wrong with taking your family member back to their happy place and being, like keeping their dignity. So that's all I wanted to say. And, when you think about it, you like, one day, none of us are going to be here. So, um, while we are here, let's just try to enjoy each other. Cause like I, when I think about certain things, I think you see how your eyes are open right now and you can see everything in the world and you can see the people the faces that you love. After a while, the faces start to, you can't see through these eyes anymore. Your parents won't be able to see, you won't be able to see their faces anymore. And life is short. So let's just love on each other. Let's try to keep each other going, and let's uplift each other, and let's take care of our parents, people. Let's take care of our aging parents. Let's have relationships with our parents. Let's have relationships with our children. Let's keep our marriages strong if we can. I'm not knocking nobody who can't, because things happen. But come on. Let's get back to being people. Let's and not being people pleasers, or anything like that, but let's get back to being humane to each other, and just caring about life again, because a lot of people today are so angry with how their life started. Some people are angry with how their life is going, and some people are angry about how some people's lives ended. So let's keep the love and the energy nice. Let's take care of your parents, take care of your children, talk to each other. Let's put these phones down and conversate with each other. Let's, show each other some love, support. And support doesn't have to be financial. It could be just sitting there listening to someone, or it can be just giving someone a hug, just letting somebody know how much you appreciate them. Just letting your family know how much you love them. And that is it. That is my message: to show each other love and take care of your parents, and let's get back to having our families be families again. Like, can we stop basing everything off of what you did for me financially? You didn't do anything for me. So with that being said, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And that's it. That's the message for today. Let's get back to being family again, and get back to, you know, loving on each other again. That's it. Anyway, have a good day, all, and I hope everybody has the best day possible. And that's it. Peace. Until the next video.